At 38 years old, I've given myself 18 months to learn how to ride motocross and to get into the best shape of my life in order to compete in Transworld's Ultimate Amateur Series. From my home in Southern California, I'll begin my career as a total novice. I'm talking falling off the turnip truck squid. I couldn't tell you anything about motocross except that it's like being a hood ornament on a freight train or something. It's an MX guide for dummies. It's the rookie meets rad, but it's about motocross and not BMX. And it's nothing like Nitro Circus because I have absolutely no idea what the hell I'm doing. This is simply about what it takes for one man having a midlife crisis to prepare for competitive racing. So the question is, will this jackass make the gate of Glen Helen? Or will I end up in a body cast? This is MX Yoga. Before we get started, it needs to be acknowledged that motocross is an inherently dangerous sport with permanent consequences. This is more of an example of what not to do, so please do not attempt anything that you see in this video unless you have professional instruction, are on a closed course, and are willing to lay it down from time to time. So to catch you up, for my first 2 months of riding, I was able to pound out over 500 laps in 20 riding days and 41 motos, dropping 6.5 seconds from my lap time and decreasing my lap range from 7 seconds down to 1.5 seconds. I also had to implement some strength and endurance training. That wasn't so much fun.
That day on, if I was going somewhere, I was running.
I started running and employing Amish workouts and utilizing visualization techniques that helped me relearn how to breathe in the chaotic environment that is moto. With the biggest change in my diet being no more junk food, a dramatic increase in my water intake, and a not so dramatic decrease in beer consumption, in the first month, I was able to lose almost 12 pounds and mentally and physically feel better than I have in years. I'm even okay with that occasional condescending thumbs up from that hotshot 10-year-old in the pro shop.
What I'm saying, it's never too late. Hope you stick with it. Surfing's the source. It'll change your life, I swear to God.
I start my third and fourth month by doubling my cardio regimen, straight up, across the board. I'm going to run the same amount of miles in half as many days, and I'm doing my riding in the hottest parts of the day, which being SoCal, it's in the mid to upper 80s, so it's nothing too crazy. I've also added a trial run up Rossmont Drive, aka Widowmaker, and we'll see how many attempts it takes me to charge up 250 feet of elevation change in half a mile without throwing up. As I continue taking myself through the steps, I've got a few more to add to the mix, and the first one is step number 11. Find experienced riders to ride with. With Reiki Master Sequence based in Phoenix, it's kind of hard to get constant feedback other than what's being shot and reviewed. But thankfully, with this technological world we live in, we're connected more than ever. So that video is just seconds away from sharing, but there's nothing like that in-person comp. Finding local guys that know what they're doing is critical to progressing quickly. Not only are they going to give you invaluable tips, but they're going to push you harder and faster than if you were to go at it alone. Of course you have to put in the work, but there's only one thing funner than going over a tabletop 3D and racing each other to the next corner.
What? Orange Mocha Frappuccino!
Although tenacity is necessary for progression, it can also wear down the joy. So having said that, I bring up step number 12. If you aren't having fun, quit. Now, I'm not much of a quitter, so I'm not really advocating the position of quitting or giving up. However, motocross is far too dangerous of a sport to go through the motions and half-ass. So, if you aren't having fun and it's not 100% engaging you while you ride, for the safety of yourself and those around you, please get off the bike. Because motocross comes with fickle progression. Some days you feel faster than ever, and other days you feel like you've gained no ground. The persistency to gain consistency and even constancy has taken its toll mentally and physically at a level I've never endured. So if I'm not having fun while I'm doing this, it's definitely not going to be worth it. But who am I kidding? It's one of the most awesome experiences of my life. Flying the front table and the step-down triple were the next walls that came down. Thanks to my buddy Blake, a 50-something downhill racer and motocross rider, the learning curve is coming fast, and my confidence on the bike is really starting to pick up. The more I ride, the better I get, which makes me want to ride even more. And the benefits of riding are becoming more and more noticeable. For the first time in a very long time, I feel like I'm firing on all cylinders, and that in and of itself can be highly addictive. If only motocross could be taken in pill form.
A tablet a day, and what I could do with my day was limitless. I learned to play the piano in 3 days. Math became useful and fun.
I'm all in.
Well, maybe not, but there is something to say about the boost in cognitive processes. I had huge progress between days 25 and 28, and now I'm really starting to feel as though getting to the main is something I can do a lot sooner than I anticipated just a few weeks ago.
MX Yoga, day 29, out here at Milestone MX. Today marks my first day out onto the main course. I'm going to be heading out. I'm probably only going to be running about 60-70%. I'm just trying to get a video profile for video feedback, so I can start thinking about getting to the next level. It's about 72 degrees and overcast, so conditions are perfect for July to be out riding. I was hoping to get out earlier, but had a couple spokes that are bad on the rear tire, and I spent a few minutes trying to fix it, and unfortunately they're frozen to the threads of the nipples. So we're going to take it slow. I'm not going to be hitting anything really hard, so I should be okay to get through the day.
And I'm feeling pumped to get out into the main for the first time and do my first bit of sight lapping. But first I head out onto the vet for a little bit of a warm-up. Now if I was talking to Oprah right now, this is what would be referred to as the first aha moment. Now I'd come to terms with the fact that I was likely going to hurt myself through this process, but what I'd failed to see until this precise moment was that I was not just a danger to myself, but that I could potentially hurt another rider in this process. Just watching the video now, this rider is all over the track. He is in no way riding a readable line. Now knowing this rider, who's not even wearing proper safety equipment, is likely going to single through this step-down triple, my frustration gets the better of me, and I pin it. Now I've been working on lengthening my vision for some time, and I would say that this is the first major success, as I read his line and anticipate him moving to the inside of the track right here.
Man, your balls are about this big, and the whole thing's roaring, right? Pushing you forward like you're on a freight train or something, man.
I end up carving a bit off track, and with some throttle correction, I end up inadvertently whipping off the course, straightening out with a couple more blips of throttle before the landing, and I ride it out. Number one, I didn't panic. I was able to keep my head in the game, and fortunately, we both get out of this situation unscathed. But now I have to deal with this whole other situation, and that is watching it over and over and over again, and realizing just how close of a call this was. I may have lost a little nerve with this close encounter, and it might be time to take a little bit of time off the bike to see where I am mentally. Because right now, I admittedly, I'm a little scared. I got lucky with this.
You want the ultimate, you gotta be willing to pay the ultimate price.
So there it is. If I wanted the ultimate, I was going to have to pay the ultimate price. And that meant I was going to have to suck it up, throw my leg over the bike, and head out for another session.
Motocross is pretty chaotic. You're on the gate, you got 12,000 RPMs, slip in the clutch, you're getting ready for the gate drop. The gate drops, here's a heart rate, 195. You stayed up after the first corner, everything's going good. You start hitting the jumps, 100 feet, you're in there for 3 seconds. And, you know, it feels like 10 seconds or 20 seconds. It feels like days sometimes. Like, hey, I can eat a sandwich up here.
Wasting time, more than time, waiting for my ride to come and pick me up where I stand. I'm waiting for my chance to be all that I was meant to be, but still I stand and sinking sand. But I've been here way too long. Some may say that I'm wrong.
I'm pumped. What took me months to figure out on the vet has taken me just a few sessions to figure out on the main. Heading into next month, we're headed to Slam Fest, and I'm going to take it to the track and hit an open practice and see where I am. Feeling high right now. Enjoying the time, definitely.
Memories of leaving behind all my friends, but I've been here